Hello, beautiful people. This is the fifth episode of Developer Diaries, and we have a very special guest, Akash, with us. And he is five. He has 5 years of experience with expertise in ReactJs, HTML, CSS. He is currently working as senior software engineer in Clairvoyant Pvt Ltd. You will find him in badminton court every morning at 7 a.m. He enjoys playing sports, learning new things. So how are you, Akash?
Hey Seema, I'm really doing good. Thank you for inviting me here. So actually, I'm following this channel for so long, maybe from the initial days, right? So I was looking forward for this. Yeah, a
Yeah.
bit nervous, but I think I will get through this.
Yeah, I am so happy to have you on my channel. I was trying to uh, invite you for a long time, so this day
Mhm.
has finally come, and we would love to interact with you, and we would love to know your stories and your experience. So I have a few questions for you ready. So I'll just ask you, how has been your experience as software engineer?
Okay, so it took some time to become a software engineer from being a coder, right? So when I joined engineering, so initially I become a coder. So I like to solve small problems like the sorting is a small problem actually. Then the matrix calculation,
Yeah.
those were problems I was enjoying at that time. But to become an engineer, then actually when I got a job and when I went to any company, the problems there were different. Like they were trying to solve problem which exist in the seniors, right? So in the
Yeah.
college days, the assignment that you have, nobody cares that you just wanted to solve that problem and you want to get the mark or get the assignment complete. But when you go to the
Yeah.
industry, someone is paying for your hours, right? So they actually solves the problem. Then they were real problems. So I choose the front end development, right? Then so initially I thought if something works in a browser, that's fine. Then it has to work in IE and the Firefox and Safari, all those things. So to become engineer, right? Then I realized actually we need to solve problems. So initially it was tough. Because in college days we used to read one book, right? So everything is in that book and we get questions in the exam and we solve them. But here in
Yeah.
the industry, we need to read different blogs. We need to go on Stack Overflow. The solution doesn't work on a first go, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do work, then they have the adverse effect, and those things happened. And I learned through the experience. I would say, at this point of time, I feel really good in the space that I am because industry that we chose, right, which is very dynamic. Things come
Yes.
fastly. We have like updates every month, right? We have the frameworks coming. React launches something, then Angular launches, then the Vue comes. So a lot of things are happening. There is very good
Mhm.
scope for learning and reading. So I feel really good. So experience was really challenging so far, but at the moment I feel really blessed to be in this industry and want to enjoy whatever we do, right? So everybody should be enjoying. Yeah, to be honest, I feel I am enjoying what I am doing currently.
That's great. Yeah, I guess industry has really different type of work because we have to work on real world products, and yeah, it's a lot of work to do.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about the resources to learn web development? I guess many of the people are uh, going to learn web development. So, if there are any resources, so you can suggest that.
Yeah, sure. So there are like certain levels at where you are, right? So suppose I'm very beginner, then I want to learn from the platform which tells in the easiest way. So W3 schools, when I was initially learning web development, I found that really useful because in small words,
Yeah.
easy words, they were like conveying what. Suppose, for example, we can take example of JavaScript. So they were conveying things in a simple word, so
Yeah.
I could relate. So I could not get the optimization and all
Hmm.
those very deep level understanding from that, but I used to get the concept how it works, and they have great examples too. Like if you go on the W3 schools and type JavaScript, you have like list of course what are the items are there, and you can
Yeah.
choose like okay, these are the things I need to learn. Then MD and JavaScript, like developer.mozilla, that is really
Yeah.
detailed solutions they have.
Yes.
They have, for example, you are studying array.map. So they have the definition of array.map as well, how the JavaScript is written for that method. So that is very detailed. JavaScript.info is there, which has really good content there as well. So I really enjoyed these three websites because I like more reading, because
Okay.
actually I could digest things while reading, because I can read multiple times.
Yes.
Watching video, like it streams and we have to go
Yeah.
back and come back. So we can't do that 5 times for every
Yeah.
statement, right? But for the blogs
Yeah.
or someone who likes reading, these three websites are really good. I tried free
Hmm.
code camp as well. That is really good. Actually, they stepwise tells you how to finish any product, and the concepts are really arranged in the manner they should be, because they have the levels clear. So free code camp
Hmm.
is really good at.
Hmm.
Udemy again, it is
Yeah.
the paid courses. Then, if you can afford that or if you can manage that course, that is really good as well. Because as it is paid, the quality is like really up to there. But courses are
Hmm.
recorded at some date, right? Things changes, and that course become famous. Then we need to make sure we read further. I mean, like if you finish React course on Udemy today, um, after 3 or 4 months, you need to read more about React because updates will be coming, right? So you need to be very
Yeah.
smart on that. On a YouTube there are a lot of content creators. They make really good videos. Like we don't need to pay for everything, because I have, for
Yeah.
example, React hooks or context API. They are very good videos available on the YouTube. So yeah, you can take a call based upon what you are comfortable in. But yeah, generally these are the few the
Yes.
website that I go through.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have?
have tried to learn JavaScript. Yeah, I have tried to learn JavaScript, so I use these resources. Yeah, Free Code Camp and the MDN docs. Yeah, I use that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see you doing many giveaways on Twitter. So why do you do that? Because I guess it's a lot of money you spend on people. So what's the purpose of that?
Uh, okay, so I read few articles like how imbalanced world is. Okay, in terms of the wealth, how it is distributed. Um,
Yeah.
it is the same way from the beginning of
Yes.
the when the people started forming the societies and all those things. So wealth started distributing at a certain
Hmm.
set of people. So we have to understand, okay, the things that I have, right? So if things were distributed equally, I don't deserve few things here. So I am like over consuming what resources Earth has, right? Um, Second thing, what it suppose I give away to one random people, right? So that people understand, okay, world is not that cruel too. Like there are some people who helps. So that random people
Yeah.
can think of helping someone else. So this chain can be formed. This can be very small chain. Like we cannot change the world at we know
Yes.
at the same time, but we can change
Yeah.
the world around us, right? The society around us, or we can give even give a try. And giveaway is very selfish task, to be honest. Like you get appraisal from the people, you get the acknowledgement, you feel good about
Yeah.
the things that you do, right? So in return you are getting things as well. So what you are paying is very less than what you are getting. So that is
Yeah.
so there are many reasons I do that, and I enjoy, and then I follow their process. And one guy, he's from the Kenya, and I gave him the giveaway, and he thanked me a lot of times. So when I announced the giveaway, He said, I'm begging you, I'm very unable to do these tasks if you give me this course. So I felt very bad about like asking this way. So if he would have asked me, okay, can you give me, I would have given that. But using the word beg really bothered me. So we don't feel good to hear this, right? Then I gave him the course.
Yeah.
He was
Hmm.
saying that how happy he is, how things, how change can happen in his life, and how his mother is praying for me. So we get a lot of things in the giveaway. So yeah, that's why I say this is very selfish task, to be honest.
Yes. I guess in return we get the happiness on the people's face. Yeah. And these things make us happy more than the amount we paid. Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk that way, right? So you give a course, you get the happiness. Okay, this is like the selfish
Yeah.
task, right?
Okay. So how do you feel after helping someone and doing the giveaways?
Okay. So I feel proud, to be honest. Like we do a lot of things, right? So for example, you do a YouTube, we
Yeah.
tweet, like we share things, we write a blogs, and we do a lot of stuff. We play and we go, we party and traveling, all of things. But there are few things that makes you proud after doing that, right? So giveaways is one thing that I'm really proud
Yes.
of doing that. I'm not doing really great, but somehow I feel good about that. I feel I should be doing this often. When I started this, I was doing silently. Like so, I take giveaways mostly in DM, so nobody knows it until the person tweets it. So I don't tweet when I give to someone. When other person tweets, then I retweet that. And when I started becoming vocal, then people started joining me. So the Sai Krishna did the giveaway by seeing my giveaway. Then Manaswini wanted to do a giveaway, so people started connecting. So, and one person
Yeah.
few days back donated me some money so that I can purchase 6 or 7 courses, maybe. So then I started feeling that I should be vocal about it because it will reach more people. Some people might be thinking
Yes.
that okay, Akash is taking a help of giveaway to reach more peoples, but things happens like people uh, talks things about that. But as far as we are reaching a good
Mhm.
people, we are reaching to the correct people. I think we should be good about that, and we should be feeling good about that as well.
Yes, I feel very proud of this thing that you are doing such a good thing to people who are in need. So yeah, whenever I see your giveaway, I was like, wow, he's doing it again. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, actually, so what I do like quarterly, I announce the giveaway because the giveaways that I see about like, retweet, and follow and choosing randomly, right? So this gives us disappointment for all people except the
Yeah,
one who is winning it, right? So when I saw these giveaways initially,
yeah,
and then someone was too disappointed in one giveaways, and he commented somewhere, and then I DM him, and I said, if you really need it, I can give it to you. So generally, I announce it so that I get lot of requests. So currently, I got like 20 requests. Then I can give away one per week, right? So I streamline them. So
yeah,
now I have like 12 or 15 weeks scheduled already. Some people doesn't respond at scheduled time, then we have some buffered giveaways as well. So um, that's why I
okay.
announce at once, collect like 15-20 giveaways, and then some people donates as well. So it helps to clear those giveaways.
Yeah. I guess when you do something good, people support you. Yeah. Okay. You have talked about obfuscate starts. As a beginner, how one can start before we get to the
Okay. Sorry, voice is breaking. Let me see if my network is bad. I think
Yeah.
this is. Oh, can you hear me properly now?
Yes, I am
Oh,
able to hear
sorry.
you.
Yeah, I missed the question actually.
I will repeat. You also do some awesome CSS arts. So, as a beginner, how one can start and any resource to do the same?
Okay, sure. So actually, the why CSS art inspired me was like I saw the work of Pratham Kumar, Unnati, and Manaswini.
Yeah,
So these three people, I saw their work, and I was like, how can one do this with the CSS, right? So that was like
yeah.
I was curious seeing at the quality of their work. Okay, so and then I started solving the complex animation, and I failed. Like I couldn't finish it. Then I
Hmm.
thought, okay, let's start with the face. Okay, so what we can do, let's create a face. Okay, you cannot create a man with the animation, right? Let's create a face.
Yeah.
Okay, what face has, right? So we have to break down the things. Okay, so face has
Hmm.
eyes, we have ear, we have eyebrows, we have nose, we have mouth. So we have six problems. So can we divide this one problem into the six problem? Yes, we can, right? So eyes are like nothing but okay, two rectangle with some border radius, some background color, adding some before
Hmm.
class. Here we are, right? We position them
Yeah.
correctly. We have eyes with the face, and similarly, you can break down the things. In CSS art, we really don't use too much CSS properties. I mean, linear gradient, radial gradient, a border radius, background, and the positioning all elements at one, and we see a like a bigger picture there, right? So CSS
Yeah.
arts are really simple. To get the inspiration, I follow flat illustration. So there are like UX designers on YouTube. If you search like flat illustration designs, so they have created designs using Adobe or like different software, and they tells you how they have created, for example, car. So how they created wheel, how they created like the wheels and then the door and all those things, and then those can click into your mind. Okay, the wheel is like the circle, right? And then there are some
Hmm.
other steps there, and you get the ideas from there. But I would
Yeah.
recommend starts from the basic, like you can create window, right? So window with like some
Hmm.
coloring, you can create that. You can create minion, you can create clock, and then you can jump
Yeah.
into any complex art that you want to create. So yeah, that's how I
Yes.
start.
I find it very difficult, but
Yeah,
I will try maybe.
yeah, you can try to see first time the complex art. This is like monsters. Okay, we cannot think like the level of work. And when you go on
Yeah.
their code page, right, we see big HTML and big CSS file, and there like
Yeah.
the half motivation goes down. Yeah, but yeah, we can
Yeah.
take them into small problems.
Okay. So, how CSS can help in UI?
Oh, CSS arts. Actually, as we talked about solving, okay, we'll talk about the how CSS helped me. Okay, so as I told in
Okay.
the earlier, I was a coder first, and then I become engineer. So coders like they
Hmm.
like most of the people like to solve problems. They would like to write a function, but they don't want to align two divs in the same line because they find it difficult sometimes. So I
Yeah.
saw a lot of
Yeah.
people good front end developer, but they are finding they are struggling into the CSS. So creating any form, they would write a form validation too fastly, but show the error message at the proper place. They find it very difficult, and I was one of
Hmm.
them. So when I joined the Twitter and I saw the work of others, so I started taking this CSS seriously. So we should be taking CSS seriously because there are properties and their values, and values tell you what they do, right? Uh, so when I learned the CSS, I could finish any web page completely because earlier we had a CSS developer into my team, but now my team knows if we give a one web page to Akash, he can finish like completely. He doesn't need anybody's help, right? So
Hmm.
we can become a good or independent or a complete UI developer. So I would recommend people
Okay.
to give attention to the CSS. uh, I'm still fine that you are doing the JavaScript stuff mostly, but CSS will only make you stronger. So that's how they help me. How CSS art helped me
Okay.
is to break down the problem into smaller problems and combine them together,
Hmm.
and we can see the output, like the end result that we wanted to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. So, how many students have you helped till now?
Okay, through the messages that we receive on Twitter, right? Or I share numbers with a few people. We have like now a big connection. So through the messages and the some people send me links to review the code. This happens a lot of things. To talk about the Udemy course, maybe I'm doing this for 7 months now. We can say one Udemy course per
Okay.
week, sometimes two per week. Yeah, around 25
Hmm.
maybe. I never take follow up with the people. So if I donated the course, I did my part. So I'm not.
Um,
I shouldn't be asking them the course. Are you finishing it? I paid for you. Nothing. So I don't take follow up with them, and that is the only reason I don't maintain the count as well. But I try to
Okay.
finish my backlogs. But let's assume like 28 is a number, maybe plus or minus 4 5. But those many
Yeah.
courses I have done it.
I guess just in 7 months, this is a big number.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So, if someone wants to help others and they don't have enough money, so how can they help? Like, any other ways to help someone?
Okay. So the things that you are doing, right? So you are teaching the things to people, right? So you are making videos.
Yeah.
Okay, someone is knowledgeful but cannot spend money. They can review code. They can give a
Hmm.
mentorship. They can share tips. Because social media people are
Yeah.
addicted to it. Right? So you are creating good content. You are creating smart content in fewer words. You are actually helping people, right? So you
Hmm.
can keep your window open for student and tell them, okay, you can ask me questions, you can do assignment, I'll review your code. So we don't necessarily need to spend money on something, because students are really looking
Yeah.
for a mentor. Because a few students
Hmm.
message me like, uh, Pratham has 15K followers. He's just 16 years old. I need to gain that follower, right? So we need to tell them you are not looking for a right thing, because Pratham is creating content
Hmm.
and people are liking it. But Pratham is following few people as well,
Yeah.
right? He is learning things as well. So you should be focusing on the learning
Yes.
things. Number can be like go up
Yes.
and down, right? So we
Yeah.
shouldn't be seeing only success in terms of number, right? So someone is doing
Hmm.
really good, he has a followers. So you are doing a good works and you may not get those followers as well. So these numbers shouldn't be bothering you. I'm taking example of
Yeah.
Prathan because I know how good he is and how helpful his contents are. So he won't bother taking his
Yeah.
example, because he inspires me, like the 16
Yes.
years he and 28 years me,
Yeah.
right? So it is like 12 years gap, but I shouldn't be too
Yeah.
rigid to get the motivation from him. So people are doing good work. So as we,
Yes.
the coming back to main question, right? So we can generate questions, we can help such young people diverting from somewhere, and you
Hmm.
don't necessarily need to give a Udemy course per week, right? So if you can afford giving one course per 6 month, right? That's fine too, right? We are giving somewhere. So yeah,
Yeah.
mentorship I can think of, and creating content maybe.
And motivation can come from anywhere, like young people or the old people can inspire us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Any life lessons that you want to share with people?
Oh, actually, yeah. So all I think is all we are chasing is a happiness, right? So whatever we are doing, we should be feeling good about it. Okay, whether you are
Yes.
student and you are going in lecture and you are feeling it bored, right? But if you have to do that, right, you don't have control. Find a happiness into it, or you are a developer, but you go there just to spend 8 hours there. It's not good. You should be
Mm.
finding happiness there. So you try to interact with colleagues, your managers, and how they think. So only one thing I can tell is all we chase for a happiness, get it from everywhere you can, right? So it can be
Yeah.
sport, it can be learning, creating content. So anywhere, uh, don't think too much ahead of the time. Like be relaxed. Sometimes relaxing is important too. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, being a greedy, actually, I see, okay, we see the success, we want to be successful, but we shouldn't be too desperate. We can choose our
Yeah.
path and reach there someday. Maybe this is
Yes.
very subjective questions to talk, and we can talk
Yeah.
for longer time too, but yeah.
Yeah. So any advice for students?
Yeah, so I would say the social media will stay there. We will
Mm.
get attracted to this Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all over. So
Yeah.
if they are distracting you, uninstalling is not an option. So okay, you can do it for a month or two. So what you
Yeah.
need to do is find a way to handle it for your betterment, right? So if we
Yes.
see on the Twitter, our circle is all technical, right? So we don't
Mm.
see too political or we don't see too negative things there. We have the control on the following people. We have control where we can comment things. So the social media is really big distraction for all of us, not only for students but for everyone. So we need to find a way to handle it. Uninstalling cannot be a way. Uh, that
Yeah.
is one thing I would say. Uh, Study can be hectic sometime. You can relax, or you can say, okay, I cannot study 10 hours a day, but find a good time that you enjoy studying, right? It is not necessary to get 90% mark, okay? We need
Mm.
to find, okay, I can settle on the 90 as well, or an 85 is good for us, because I see a people who has 70% in their 10th, they are really doing amazing job. So world doesn't stop on one failure. We have to keep moving, whether we get
Yes.
100% or 50%. We get new assignment, we get challenges every step in a life. So we should be ready. So and we should be enjoying it. So problem won't stop if you get 95% in 12th. There are
Mm.
problems. So
Yes.
we shouldn't be seeing it as a problem, but those are assignments. So life will go on likewise.
Yeah. Yeah. These are some great advices. Yeah. Okay. So anyone in the audience have any question? I see a lot of people, Shreyasi, Sanskriti, Jagdish, Deepak, Tenu, and Ritvik from Twitter. Like, we know these people.
Yeah, actually, they are like a very
So,
good connections we have on Twitter. Hello, everyone.
yes. So, do you have any question for Akash? So, in the meanwhile, you can share anything you like.
Um, Sorry, I think I lost your question again. Maybe my internet is fluctuating.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you. So I was saying that in the meanwhile, you can share some things that you want to share. Anything you like.
Oh, what can we share? Oh. Okay, so you talk about your experience as well, right? So for someone who wants to, so for example, I have few questions too for you. I want to start YouTube channel, but what I think is I don't have much content, right? So I'll create one video and what next? So So do you get such questions?
Okay. Firstly, you can ask your audience that what they want to see on your channel. And the second thing is whatever you are like what you do already, like use CSS art. So that can be a great thing, and JavaScript in your own, because there are a lot of content out there, but a new way of teaching is different. So maybe your way of teaching can help someone because others can't. So yeah, that's the thing.
Sorry, I think I lost my
Yeah.
connections. Yeah, it was fluctuating for a while. Can you hear me
No
now?
problem. Yes.
Uh, so you were talking about the
Okay.
technologies.
So yeah. Okay. So I was saying that you can ask your audience what they want to see on your channel, and you can maybe it can be like CSS art, so you can share that, and JavaScript or React, because everyone's way of teaching is really different. So maybe your way of teaching can really help someone, because there are there can be really tough tutorials too that we can't understand. So technology is uh, like we have to explain it in a very simple way that everyone can understand. So yeah, I guess yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, so this question keeps uh, coming into my mind. So yeah, thinking so. Yeah, I read somewhere like the Francisco, and you keeps talking about right hardwares and the webcams and all those things shouldn't be a problem to start a YouTube channel, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. And my phone video quality is not really good, so yeah, I just use that now. And uh, yeah, I want to share some one thing too, that we see our grandparents and parents, they don't know about technology much, but when we can explain the things to them, then yeah, that's when you know that technology really good. Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So we have a question from Diptenu. What do you think about free code camp?
Yeah, we talked about it, right? So I feel it
Yeah.
really good because I finished the front end thing because they leveled up the things really well. So, for example, you want to complete the HTML, right? So they initially tells you inline blocks and they tells you the block level like divs and all those things. They tells you afterward the images, how to use inline tags, then how to use divs, IDs and the classes. So slowly they get you through the level the way you want. Uh, so for example, some blogs directly jump into the things directly, and you don't
Mhm.
get the background of it. So pre-code camp is actually did great job there. So I myself finished
Yes.
the content code there.
Okay. I personally have finished one course, so yeah, it's really helpful for us, for as well as beginners too.
Yeah, actually.
Okay. Shreyasi is asking, what skills technology does a front end developer need to know before applying for the interview? What is expected from a applying candidate?
Oh, okay. I know this. Okay, so we take it as a if the student is applying, right? So or a fresher is
Yeah.
applying.
Yeah.
So the companies will see how good programmer he is. That will be the first, the priority of there. So you might be knowing the React.js or the JavaScript and CSS. So everybody will see how he can solve a problem. So for example, if CSC knows the React.js, then the programmer will ask, okay, how can I share it? So there are the example of the, okay, let's take an example. So Shesh has to create one blog card, okay? So the which
Mm.
card shows the thumbnail image, title of the blog, and the description. The interviewer can ask, okay, I'll pass the ID to there. So how you will call endpoint, from which lifecycle method you will call. So I'm taking example for the React.js. So the interviewer can see how can you solve that particular problem. So experienced people can tell by their experience because they have uh, worked on the real project. But for example, if I am taking the interview for the fresher, I'll be more checking his programming skill or a problem solving
Okay.
skill. And I won't be
Mm.
expecting too much optimization into the React.js or the AngularJS. Uh,
Mm.
but if she knows the JavaScript and CSS knows more, then this is really plus point for her. Uh, for the interviews, this is very subjective term because different people takes the interview, right? For
Yeah.
example, if I am taking interview, my mindset is totally different. Uh, so we should be
Mm.
positive about it. We never know which kind of person taking the interview and in which mood he is. Okay,
Mm.
sometimes interviewee does not justify the time that they have allocated. So, but we should be focused on that. We should be so generally we should be showing what we know. Like we shouldn't be expecting very random things, and that is the why we ask for the introduction, right? So in the introduction, you tell all
Mm.
the things that you know, and it is expected the discussion will be going on those points only. For example, I worked on only React.js. I shouldn't be expecting the question what is difference between Angular and React because I haven't worked on the Angular. So that question itself
Yeah.
is not valid. So I hope Shreyas, I have answered
Mm.
your question.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, Abhay has a question. What keeps you motivated and keep you going on doing CSS art every day or every week?
Okay. Actually, when I saw the first time the CSS art, Abhay, I saw it is impossible. So I thought we cannot do it with the CSS. This is bluffed. There might be some tweak used like the SVGs or the image. I saw the code and I could
Mm.
only see the divs and the classes. So that was first of all challenge for me. When I started
Mm.
Twitter, I was sharing the JavaScript question, and I wasn't getting impression on that. Like the bots used to retweet, like we have few bots, right?
Yeah.
But I really wasn't getting the impression. But people doing CSS work and they were getting a lot of likes and retweet. So that was one motivation for me. That shouldn't actually, but doing CSS work, then the people started appreciating, and I started feeling good about it. Then I started doing it frequently, and I started getting followers. I started getting recommendation. I was being mentioned into the things. I still say this
Yeah.
isn't an ideal thing to think, but
Yeah.
on the social media, we need those likes, right? So and when I stopped doing that, then I saw people stop mentioning me, and then I start feeling okay, people are disowning me. I should be more than
Mm.
often doing that. And then I feel tired about it. Then was a time. Then I decided, okay, I'll do the CSS or I'll do something when I want to do. So there were multiple motivation at certain point of time. So learning the challenge that I felt it is impossible initially, right? So I wanted to take that challenge.
Mm.
Then I wanted to grow my network. So motivations were like different at different point of time. So actually, Abhay is
Yeah.
my the class from the college. Thank you for the question,
Okay.
Abhay.
Okay. Jagdish is asking, is it necessary for front-end developers to learn tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, and XD?
Absolutely not. So we can divide like UI and UX, right? So, for example, let's take an example of Shazi, who is like very good front-end developer, right? So there can
Hmm.
be Shazi may not think on the UX level, like, or if I am a good front-end developer, I cannot understand, okay, which color I need to pick. So that is the UX knowledge. So they are different, the skilled people. Uh, so they are UX people, right? So it is not necessary to have a knowledge of Photoshop or XD, because I don't have knowledge of Photoshop, and I don't have sense of picking colors or giving gap between elements or choosing a font. So I take help from the good peoples that they are doing job, right? So on the Adobe
Oh,
XD or the Dribble. So I feel it is not necessary.
yeah. Okay. Joe is asking, what resources do you use to make CSS art?
Okay, so Pinterest website, I choose randomly cards, so whichever I like and I think I can make. So because there are very cool works uploaded on Pinterest or a Dribble, but not everything that I
Hmm.
can make, which I know, because I see
Hmm.
things and I see, okay, this is good, and I see the shapes used there, and then the CSS properties keeps running into the mind, and I solve the problem there, and then I get to know, okay, I can make this, and I choose that and I do. For some cars, I see this is really cool, and then I see few portion and I know, okay, this is something I cannot make. So I, though I liked it, I cannot choose it. So Pinterest is one, Dribble is one, and if you go on a
Hmm.
YouTube and type flat illustration designs, then you get lot of videos how they have created some art. So these three resources I use to make.
Okay. Uh, okay. Sachin is asking some full stack projects that will be valuable to mention in resume.
Some full stack projects that will. Oh, so currently I'm following 50 project 50 days, but they were really small and they are front end driven. Uh, I
Hmm.
I won't tell. I can't talk much about it. But to finish any project, you can take a problem. For example, I can think of the problem of recruitment team in any organization can have, right? So you can solve problem. You can solve that problem. Okay, we'll have the first round. Then the recruiter will select the student. Okay. I think I lost the connection. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I can
so
hear
for
you.
full stack, okay, so for solve full stack project, you need to solve any problem. So it can be like employee management in any organization. It can be like hiring process in any organization. It can be like the small social media where you can upload image and have the comments like and the reply to comment. So you can choose any
Hmm.
problem, but solve it completely. Don't solve it 90% and leave there. So you
Yeah.
can solve any real-time problem. For example, in our society, we have one app to authenticate any person. Like if some person comes, they ask, okay, which flat you want to go, and the notification for
Hmm.
that flat members go. So this is one small problem that application solves, right? So you can choose any problem and solve it 100%, and the people, honestly, people will impress by your work.
Yeah. I guess right now, if we solve real world problems, then it's a really good project to do, rather than the old that like the library system that we had in
Yeah.
first year exams.
For practice, yeah, you can, for practice you can
Yeah.
still solve that, but to have innovation is one thing that will excite you, right? What next,
Yes.
like where I can, for example, you may get funders too,
Yes.
right? So the ideas can grow anyhow. So yeah.
Diktenu has a question. Um, okay, how you get a shape size or how you get? I don't know if you know this question.
Actually, I couldn't get. Okay, so if the question is regarding the work that gets uploaded on the Pinterest and how we get the shape sizes and all, I don't get it completely. So sometimes the work I took for a motivation can differ from what I did there. But as long as the illustration is similar and those things, and you learn few things, I think we are good. So I sometimes I don't get it, so I choose my shapes and all those things.
Okay, okay. So thank you, Deepak, and hi, Pratham and Karan. Okay, so Pratham and Karan are here. So he's saying hi, and how's it going?
Hi
Yeah,
Pratham, hi
good to see
Karan.
you too, Karan and Pratham. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll connect soon.
yeah. Okay, how you get shape size for CSS art? That was the question.
Oh yeah, yeah, Dityanu. Sometime okay. So if you are following any XT design, so they upload the sizes that they use. So they upload the colors they have used. Sometime on Pinterest you don't get colors because they upload video as an animation. So you can take. I take a screenshot sometime literally and get the closest color. Uh, for size and all those stuff, you can be innovative. You can like gauge the size. Sometime suppose there are a lot of elements, you take the size of one element and you know the how relatively bigger other elements are. So that becomes your like reference size, and whole artwork revolves around that size. And to create shape, you are
Okay.
talking about, then the border radius is one property that I keep using, and the linear gradient and the border radius actually gives a good effect on the CSS art.
Okay. So Karan is saying that चलो conference call करते हैं. So
Yeah, we'll do that.
okay. Deepak is saying that dear speakers, please keep drinking water in live sessions. Um,
Oh,
I don't
that's
prefer
good.
that. Do you?
Uh, yeah, maybe Deepak's point would be like we talk more, right? So, for example, for 50 minutes we are talking. So I don't talk too much, maybe because I feel little dehydrated. Not that much, but that is a great advice, Deepak. I'll take care of that. Thank you.
I never drink water during any session or when I'm teaching. Yeah,
Okay, good, good.
yeah. So Ritik is asking, what should a beginner does if he confused that he knows CSS or not?
Oh, what should a CSS beginner do? Okay, all we can do is learning, and how can we validate that learning is the question. So, if someone is doing really great and you are not doing up to that level of quality, that doesn't mean that you don't know. Because CSS has too many properties. Nobody knows all properties, and the properties has the multiple values. So what we can do, we can take one assignment. Okay, so there are a lot of websites where they have daily challenges, right? So you take chat challenge and try to solve it. So initially you will take 8 hours to solve that problem, right? So keep that habit for like 30 days maybe. On 30th day, I'm sure you'll be solving that problem in 3 or 4 hours. Okay, that's how we can validate. So we cannot compare others because that can more demotivate you, because there are too lot of people who are really better than us, right? So we cannot compare that, but we can keep practicing, keep learning. That will only make you better than the yesterday. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
hope Ritik that answers your
I
question.
I guess nowadays taking challenge is the best way to learn. because if we don't, then we will feel like, yeah, it's okay, I will skip this day and this day. So yeah, I guess it's a great way to learn.
Actually.
Yeah. So anyone has any question? Is it important to obfuscate the code in production? I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
okay, let me Google that. Maybe I don't know what it means. Let me Google because my English is not that good.
I have never heard this word before.
Confuse, blur. Okay, so to blur the code
Unclear.
input.
Okay.
Okay, too unclear or blur. Maybe are we talking about like uglifying code so that, for example, people can debug the code in web browsers, right? So they can see how we have coded and they can uh, modify that code or through the DOM manipulation they can change the code. So yeah, uh, we do minify things and we do uglify things as well. So for example, you have written a function which accepts first name and last name. So when we do uglify that function, so that your parameters become as x and y or l and m. So people cannot judge what that code means. So minifying and
Yeah.
uglifying, if we are talking about, yes, it is important. It is good to have because there are a lot of phishing attacks that happens.
To prevent reversing.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone has any question?
Yeah, sorry, Deepak, if we couldn't understand your question, but yeah, on the unclearing or the minifying and uglifying we talked about.
Hmm. Guys, just ask some question because he is a really busy person and he took some time for this session.
I didn't think we will talk this much. I thought like 15-20 minutes and we're done. I
Yeah,
mean, like, I never thought that I would talk this much, to be honest.
it's great.
Yeah,
Okay, Deepak is saying no, it was clear. Thanks, Akash.
glad to know that, Deepak. Thanks for your question.
Okay, so Akash's social handles are in the description box. You can definitely connect with him. He is such a great person to get to know. Yeah, and definitely connect with him. And thank you so much, Akash, for coming here and taking some time to give a talk and help some people. And you are doing a really great job of like giving away the courses. And yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Seema, for inviting me. So this is my first session, so I'll remember this forever. Because the first
I'm
is like,
glad.
yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm glad it's
okay,
on my
so,
channel.
yeah, and all the best for your channel. You are doing great job.
Thank you
So
so much.
these are still initial
Thank you.
days, and you are learning, and
Yes.
I'm really enjoying the progress that you are making so far. And I'm sure, like one day, these things will be become like too big, but you will remember the way you have started and become more
Yeah.
confident and better person. Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to improve.
Yeah,
So yeah. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Yeah. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Okay,
Thanks
my cheeks
everyone.
are like they are just fading. uh, okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining. Yeah.
Uh, Okay, Seema. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.